Heather Mills, welcome to the 12th Forum for the Future of Agriculture, and I know you've just spoken to the forum about being a pioneer of plant-based food since the early 1990s. Now, when we talk about sustainability, which we do a lot at the forum, we talk about a sustainable diet, and we talk about the human's health, but also the planet's health, and those two are intrinsically linked, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a paper about 20 years ago to try and explain we were going to be in this position that we're in now. And the only way to slow that down was for everyone to go plant-based. But unfortunately, due to willpower or ignorance, it didn't happen. So it's great to see that people are really talking about it now. And we've had a huge growth over the last 3 years since there's been mainly because there's been some huge sales. Then as soon as there's money, the corporates come round and then they start paying attention to it and they need that backup. But I'm trying to work a lot with farmers to convert non-sustainable dairy farms into plant-based farms wherever possible, and to grow all sorts of other things wherever possible. And then we can use all those products.
We have a lot of different divergent views that we bring together. It's open, healthy debate here, from agriculture through to the environment. And there are some that would say that eating no meat, and no dairy is doing more harm than good, that a sustainable food system definitely needs livestock. Do you think those views are changing?
I think people need to do their research properly, and actually it is the biggest cause of gas emissions and global warming. So why would consuming it still be any justification for that? We can feed hundreds more people on the same amount that is used to feed cows that feeds a tenth of that. So it's just scientifically proven that that's not true. That's just naivety and misunderstanding of science.
The theme this year is for the next generation. Do you feel that the next generation, you said people, you wrote papers years ago, but are people listening to these messages more now?
People are really listening to these messages more because we have the internet on the level that we did. I wrote these in 1995, so a long time ago. But because we got the internet, you have two types of people. People that are just not interested. They want to watch the Kardashians and put their makeup on. And we're also trying to reach them by doing vegan makeup and getting them to make ethical choices.
Those are the young that are doing it, aren't they? They're also the people who do care about the
That's
planet.
what I was just going to say. So there's two sides. There's the hugely amazing side that walking out of school, like my friends' kids going to climate change marches. They're the voices, and they should be listened to because they're the future and it's going to be their planet. So if they're demanding what does it take to reduce climate problems, they know that it's plant-based. So they actually are having the willpower to actually go vegan, or at least reduce massively. Because when I was a kid, you had meat once or twice a week. You didn't have it 3 times a day. That's why we've got the huge problems we've got. And when people say, well, what will happen to all the cows? They'll just live a lovely life and die a death and not procreate artificially. They'll procreate naturally on the land that's around them, not being forced.
You talked to the forum about growing up in Newcastle, and sausages were a treat at the weekend, and meat and dairy was associated with health and wealth actually a long time ago. Now we know that is changing, and the new generations certainly are leading the way on that, but there is confusion about how to go about it.
The best thing is to educate yourself properly. Read the China study, get a yellow highlighter, highlight things, understand that initially you need to reduce the consumption, and learn that anything over 12% turns the cancer cells on and off. It's scientifically proven. So that's why we have all the illnesses that a lot of countries didn't have until we put our fast food into their country. So educate yourself. Everyone says, oh, well, haven't you got to take vitamins? Well, most people need them, with today's food system, whether they're carnivore or vegan or whatever they are. But if you eat a healthy vegan diet, I've been doing it for 26 years. I have a 15-year-old that's never been sick and is 15 and vegan whole life. And it's just a B12 vitamin and some algal oils, and that's it.
Finally then, isn't it quite expensive to eat vegan, or is that a myth that you can explain?
The reason we set up V-Bites was because we could replicate foods that you love at the same prices. So this myth that it's more expensive, we've proven time and time and time again that if you take the cigarette out your mouth, if you put the pint of beer down, that's more than just the weekends, you will never find that it's more expensive.
And there is a growing sense now, in fact there's a report recently that said, you talk about smoking, that in fact, bad diet now contributes to more deaths worldwide than smoking. So that sense of change really is coming, and that's important for the future of the planet, right?
It's essential that we start looking after ourselves and the planet, because animals naturally cull themselves. We had a huge piece of land once, and then it was fenced off, and the deer started having 1 deer a year, not 6. And so people are saying we have to cull the deer, we have to do this. Nature is smart. We're the stupid ones. We're the ones that rape the land, and that's why wars are here, because we think, we need more oil. The wars would stop when we realise we can live on sustainable fuel. Lots of things would be a domino effect. People would get healthy. They wouldn't need to claim benefits because there'd be taxpayers and working and more motivated. And it's incredible, because mental health is very connected to your stomach. 90% of your serotonin is made there. So if you're feeding it junk, you're going to feel low, you're going to feel slothily, you're going to feel down.
And finally, Heather, we talk about the Sustainable Development Goals here a lot. So, we look at SDG 2, we're looking at trying to end global hunger, as well as looking at better nutrition. So that sense of obesity on the one side of the Western world, but actually poverty and fielding more and more mouths is there. Does the vegan voice go out to that?
If the whole world went vegan, there would be no such thing as world hunger. It's scientifically proven, analysed for years and years and years, because the grain that they grow, they get to use themselves, they get to keep it, they don't get to have to feed a cow with it and have 10% of what they could have by making it into a product that they can feed themselves.
How did dairy farmers receive your message in the forum today?
A lot of positivity, surprisingly, because a lot of them are fed up with taking subsidies and fed up with feeling like a handout all the time, and they were fascinated to find out that if they grew potatoes for us and we made starch, if they grew peas we can make protein, and if they grew oats we can utilise it. And there's money to be made there, and especially when we want to work with them and make the supermarkets give them real margins, because the supermarkets are the ones that are squeezing them down, which goes to the manufacturer, which goes to the grassroots. So ultimately, like we changed the law here on dog and cat fur by getting the fox, mink and sable community on our side because of consumer duping for dog and cat fur, it was the first unanimous vote. We want to get the farmers on our side to say, right, how can we make your farming make money?
Well, good luck with getting that message out to farmers and to other audiences. And thank you, Heather Mills, for joining us today.